versus SNK 2.
Two of my favorite games in the history of fighting games joined forces for Capcom vs. SNK. And today we're going to take a look at Capcom vs. SNK 2 EO for the GameCube. The game is loaded with a ton of characters to choose from. It's completely stacked. On the Capcom side, you have some classics like Ken, Ryu, Guile, Bison, and many more, including some fighters from other series such as Final Fight, Dark Stalkers, and Rival Schools. And for SNK, some of the fighters include Terry Bogard, King, Geese Howard, and a lot of other people whose names I can't pronounce. The game controls like a dream. I know the GameCube version isn't as popular due to its controller, but I've owned this game for nearly 10 years now and I've never had a gripe about the controls, though I do have to do a little bit of configuring in the options. The game features different grooves that depict how you perform super moves and how your fighter controls. The EO version contains a mode called GC-ism, and it's a cheap setting in which you use the C analog stick to perform special moves that otherwise would require a button combination. I guess this setting is for kids or fighting game noobs, I don't know, it's pretty stupid. While the graphics are good, I do have some mixed feelings about them. Now, the backgrounds look really crisp, they look good, but with a lot of them containing three-dimensional polygons, some of them can look kind of out of place for a 2D fighter. While designing the game, the SNK sprites were completely redrawn, while a lot of the Capcom sprites were recycled from other games, resulting in some lower res sprites which can sometimes look odd, but honestly, most people shouldn't even notice. There's three main modes of gameplay here. Ratio match lets you select a team, assigning ratio points to each fighter. 3-on-3 is just that. You select three fighters, either Capcom or SNK. And single match is like your basic fighting game where you take on an opponent one-on-one. I think by the time this game came out, the days of epic fighting game music was already a thing of the past. The music is decent, but some of it's kind of boring and some songs just don't fit. Like, hey Capcom, what's with the smooth jazz?
Swoosh! This battle is about to explode. Fight!
I don't know, to me that just doesn't scream fighting game music. The announcer can get annoying because honestly he just never shuts up.
What an incredible cast of warriors has gathered here. However, only one team shall be crowned the champion of the Millionaire Fighting in 2001. But the road to victory is not an easy one. The champion team will need more than luck to win this tournament. They will have to demonstrate a keen mind and steady nerves in order to defeat the competition. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
I mean, come on man, just let me pick my fighter. It's already stressful enough trying to cycle through all those fighters with a time limit. But oh well, this is all about fighting, and that's where this game shows its true colors. In my opinion, this game handles way more like a Capcom title rather than an SNK one. It's like it picked up where Alpha left off. It handles with a low, medium, high system, as in both kick and punch have a low, medium, and high attack. Now with the 6 attack buttons set up this way, it feels just like Street Fighter. And that's a good thing. I mean, not to take anything away from SNK, but I always thought Street Fighter handled perfectly. Now if you prefer the SNK feel more, SNK did produce a few SNK vs. Capcom games themselves, but they were released on the Neo Geo systems, which is a shame. I've actually played SVC Chaos and it's a great game. It's got a heavy SNK feel to it, and the Street Fighter sprites look amazing. It's like a flashback to Street Fighter 2. Take a look at these sprites from SVC Chaos. Now as far as Capcom vs. SNK 2, I like the selection of fighters, the gameplay, and all-around fun this game brings. It's definitely no Street Fighter Alpha 3, which is one of my favorites, but for the simple fact that it has two of my favorite fighting game makers who were once rivals coming together to make one game, it ranks pretty damn high on my list. It's not as cheap as most 10-year-old video games, but you should be able to pick it up under 20 bucks. If you can find it, get it. It's well worth it.